Warning, I swear a lot.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. So, I noticed I was surprisingly quiet during the whole sequence, but that scene, the tribunal in the last episode, was insane. I loved it. It was a brilliant sequence. I was on the edge of my seat the whole goddamn time. And I hear that apparently it can go in a variety of different ways, so that's a really interesting little sequence to exist, especially in a game like this. Yeah, as we go now, we currently have an injury in our leg. Everyone's dead, or a lot of people are dead. I guess Ruby's still alive, so that's something. And we gotta go ask Lillian about the boat, but there's a lot of other things I want to check in on first. Like Gart, for instance. This place is a lot emptier than it used to be. You're right, buddy.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you.
God, that's a really nice thing you did. You could have used more work after all. I just took a bullet for this place. No, we have to thank him. He stepped up.
You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire.
I did get shot, that's true. I'm currently shining a light in your eyes, Gart. Such an antisocial thing to do. Let me look at your pupils. It helps me tell if you're lying.
Defended may be putting it a bit generously, though. I had a great view of you doing nothing to stop those psychopaths. Then I crawled inside. Bullets started flying. Anyway.
Come on, man. You were doing so well.
I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports cops.
Ah.
The stay is free, the drinks are not. It just felt I needed to specify that.
Don't worry, I'm off that stuff now, but cool, we don't have to pay rent anymore. So where did everyone go?
Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business.
Who'd have thunk? So what happened to the guy with the sunglasses?
I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Must be a fad.
It's because they're too cool for school. So I have to mention, when it happened, you were right out there on the balcony.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. That's because I'm a badass.
You say it as two different words like that, it sounds like there's something wrong with your ass.
Yeah, well, fuck you too then. You have any more questions or stylistic pronunciation advice?
I've got a few.
He's not too offended. The experience has changed something in him.
He's a cool guy. Alright, thanks.
No problem. They'll come back. They always do.
I need a drink. No. Goodbye, Gart. I'm glad things worked out for you, at least. Somewhat. It actually hasn't. His business is suffering, but... kinda. Whatever. It's fine. I wanted to go over my case notes when, Kim was asleep, but I was the one who has actually been asleep. Can I talk to these? How are you guys doing? It's been rough, hasn't it?
Seeing you approach, the bruised man clenches his fists.
Come on, man, I did my best.
Oh, it's you. Didn't think we'd see you walking anytime soon. Elaine, look. It's the cowardly cop.
Oh, I literally stood in the middle of two armies of people with guns.
Huh? What?
He looks up, his eyes full of confusion, as if he'd just woken from a deep sleep.
He's very, very drunk.
I can imagine.
Our condolences for your losses.
He says with a little nod, but the remaining Hardy Boys don't seem to register his words. Is he okay?
Does he look like he's okay?
That's why I asked the question.
He does not. His unshaven face is almost grey, and he reeks of piss, sweat, and booze.
About right. How badly was he hurt?
He wasn't. That's the thing. Titus, Theo, Dennis, Angie, Elizabeth, they're all gone. But he got away without a scratch.
Elizabeth was shot as well?
There's nothing left. Nothing.
There's stuff left.
He has lost the will to live.
Oh no.
It's survivor's guilt. He feels like he should have died with the others. He may kill himself if he doesn't find a new purpose, or else go on in this way. Not dead, but not really living either.
Shit is tough, but you need to get off your ass and finish this? Finish what exactly? What is there to finish? But we need to say something or he's just gonna melt.
What?
The little guy who ran, Shanky. You're just gonna leave it like that? Crenell, Wild Pines, all the people responsible for the deaths of your friends. You're just gonna leave it like that?
Sons of bitches.
He mumbles something in Mesk when he sinks down on the table, again, a malevolent smile spreading across his face.
Was this really the best idea? I guess you may have prolonged his existence a bit, if he can still remember this when he sobers up.
What will happen will happen.
If you think this will keep him from offing himself, I'll make sure to remind him. So far, I've just been pouring whiskey in him to keep him sedated.
Probably wise. What's gonna happen to the Hardy Boys now that Titus is gone?
Titus is fucking dead.
He is. The spit flying out of his mouth is accompanied by a painful grimace.
What's gonna happen to the Hardy Boys? Look around you, man. This shit is done. There are no more Hardy Boys.
So what, you're just gonna go back to hauling containers in the harbor?
No, man. I don't know. I guess the Union will still be policing the neighborhood, but who's gonna do it now?
You, Eugene, you should do it.
Me? No, man. I'm not a leader. You know, Titus only recruited me because I play the guitar. Said the team could use the morale boost.
He smiles suddenly.
If any of them had leadership capacity beside Titus, it's him. Keep encouraging him.
You can do it. The Eugenie Boys is quite the ring, doesn't it?
What? Fuck no. If I'd stay, we'd keep the name to honor Titus.
That's a noble thought. You're gonna do alright. No one is born to lead.
Titus was, but thanks for the vote of confidence. If I don't stick around, it's all over. So, I guess I sorta have to now.
Yeah, man, step up.
Yeah, man. You know, you got this. You got this.
Yeah, tell him, Elaine.
I haven't got shit, Al.
But he will.
There's something there. A germ of determination. He knows he has no choice but to rise to the occasion.
And so he will.
This is not completely ludicrous. Him and Titus were the only detectives of the bunch. Titus more, but Eugene at least knew how to think along.
And that's a start. Any idea what happened to Classier?
Damn songbird of misery, that one.
Man shakes his head.
And do you have any information on this songbird of misery?
I'm guessing not.
God said she took off sometime before the firefight. That's all. Trying to remember if there was anything. Oh yeah, he said she seemed to be in a real hurry.
I bet.
She's gone. Face it.
Alright, take care, guys.
Yeah, you too. It's a rough world out there. It's not easy being a cop. We were too hard on you.
You literally called me the coward cop like 5 minutes ago.
Both of you. We shouldn't have fucked with you like we did. You got between us and a lot of bullets in that fight. Matinees owes you one.
Am I not the coward cop?
That's kind of you to say. Take care of your friend, okay?
I will. You take care of yours.
Yeah, I need him to.
A sharp pain shoots up your side and into your stomach. You must not look too good. Luckily, it passes.
Yeah, I'm in rough shape. I'm aware. I know it. I've got 2 skill points to spend. I'll hold on to them for now. I want to call the station about whether or not I am a corrupted... I don't know how to say this shit. What is this? There is still blood on the floor.
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull.
Huh. Looks like Cindy the Skull finally found the words for her masterpiece.
The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with his finger.
Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday.
God damn, I have no idea what it says. I smell fuel oil.
And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Yeah, probably quite a bit.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable?
What are you trying to imply, Fingers?
You could buy some smokes, light up a ciggy and throw it in there. You know, just to see what happens. See if it's flammable. It's better that way. Safer.
That seems incredibly scary. That seems like a very scary thing to do. Alright, well, let's go talk to the office and see what they've got for me. Maybe I'll go tell Tommy that Ruby's okay as well. He'll be happy.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Oh, we've been attacked, by the way.
something is wrong. Only static hisses through the speaker.
Hello?
No reply. Only the mindless drone of static crawling through the air.
Oh.
It's been this way for a while now. My guess is the Union is listening in on our conversations and jamming outward communications to protect themselves from Cronel.
Goddamn.
It only happens when someone mentions the attack. The rest is unaffected. Our best bet is to carry on like nothing happened. That is, if we don't want us cut off the grid completely.
Isn't that fucked?
No more dangerous than stepping between 3 armed mercenaries and 8 Union men, I hope.
He glances over his shoulder.
I don't like it either, but that's the way it is. The street seems safe enough to me. If anything, taking out the mercs made things calmer. For now.
He flicks off the radio. Silence.
You can try calling again. Just don't mention the tribunal. And remember, they are listening in.
Great.
Everything sounds okay. No drumbeat of total war yet. If anything, everything sounds too okay.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts.
In the cabin, you see
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Please connect me to the 41st.
10-4, come in. Fireworker. Over.
Come on, man, be nice to me. I've heard that some people think of me as a peon. Am I a peon?
10-4, sir. Well, there's been some talk, sir.
Some talk? What does it even mean there's been some talk? Do they think I'm corrupt or not?
I only meant that there's been some talk in the station, that's all. But there's always some talk in the station. You know how officers in Jamrock are.
Fair.
But then again, some of us truly are on the take. It's unfortunate. Over.
I see. Okay, well, that's a thing. I guess I did it. That's all. You're all useless and unhelpful. Especially all of you. Hey, Tommy, I've got good news.
My man, you're alive. Almost. Kind of. Sort of alive?
Roughly alive. Alive and limping.
Man, what a day. I missed out on most of the action, but I heard it was quite the encounter. Had a strong sense of finality to it.
And yet things are not over.
So what's next? You guys heading back to Jamrock now? Talk is local Union muscle were behind it all. I'd reckon the case is closed, even if it kind of turned into a shit show.
Still looking around, loose threads to tie up.
Good luck with that, my man. Ain't easy being you, but hey, you're still breathing, right?
I met the lady driver, by the way, Ruby.
Okay.
He seems a little apprehensive.
Is it wise to share information about the case like this, sire?
It's just Tommy.
The lieutenant throws you a quick glance.
It's fine.
What are you doing?
No, screw it. I'm gonna put Tommy at ease. He was really worried about this shit. She didn't do anything.
Oof. Good on her. And good on you, too, my man. That's
He looks for the words.
merciful. Downright merciful. You cops keep exercising that muscle, and people will be more willing to cooperate, you know.
Yeah.
He's clearly relieved.
That's why I told him. I knew he'd be relieved. I wouldn't have told him if she had offed herself. I wouldn't have said a goddamn word.
All right. That's enough sharing details about the investigation for one day.
Yeah. I admit it was not the smartest thing to do, but, you know, he was worried. Don't run. No, stop running. No, stop. Why does it auto... Sometimes it auto runs. Oh, the old men are gone. Well, I guess that's... Yeah, I imagine a lot of things are now unavailable because that was kind of a point of no return. Unfortunate. But it's fine. Hey, buddy, have you got a discount for someone who's been shot at?
Wow!
Well, what?
A cop limping down the street, bleeding from the shoulder, face bruised, looking like hell? You know what that is?
A prime customer?
Cool! That's cool!
Thanks, man. I'll leave you to it for now.
Shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Fuck it, let me see if I can get some decent sunglasses. Let's put a little into conceptualization. We've got points to spare.
Why does art inspire you so much?
No, art is for arrogant blowhards. Why am I getting this?
Is it? Yet your eye constantly seeks out the most critical side of any aesthetic confrontation. You follow the expressions of imagination and technical skill with curiosity.
Damn it, he's right.
In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
Would I fit into the art world?
Have you looked in the mirror lately? To be honest, you have the exact features of the modern artist, with that wild hair and those clothes. Perhaps you should try to write poetry someday and critique architecture.
Is architecture also art?
Of course not. It's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler and a sextant or whatever they use. You should demean and criticize the genteel institution of architecture while extolling the virtues of the pure arts.
What about music? Is music art?
Only the most experimental kind.
Like anodic dance music? I guess I have been feeling critical lately.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop.
But don't I have to be 100% cop to, like, do the case?
Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive and camp aesthetic now? Strike a bold shape here. Go art or go home.
Alright, if 50% art critic is what's needed to free me from rote repetition, then so be it.
Exactly. It's not
Actual
only
art
your duty
degree.
to only catch the criminals off the street. You must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world.
Apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery. What a concept. In more ways than one.
Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna lean into that.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Let's have a look.
No,
Oh,
all you find is this lime-colored cellophane.
Oh,
Hey, at least it might actually offer some protection against this.
you don't like it? Sure.
I've already bought it, man. You can't sell me it again. I already bought it.
The speakers below are banged up and
Oh, I
worthless.
really want those
The
sneakers.
sneakers.
They would have been really useful for the gunfight if I'd had a gun. Which I didn't, so it's moot. But you know, thoughts for the future, for my own playthroughs. Stop running! Stop! Because now I have to hold down shift in order to move, and that means I can't hold down tab to do detective vision without stopping, and fuck me, is that frustrating. Oh hey, my guy. Oh hey, it's dude. Oh, fucking get back over there.
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man?
What happens to the other guy?
Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Where is Rene?
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
Gone where?
Hell, most likely. He was an absolute cunt.
What, was he killed during the tribunal?
Oh, he would have liked that. Violent lives ending violently. That's how he wanted to go. Sadly, it was not the case.
How did he go?
His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is.
Oh.
Wait, did he push himself to prove he can pull his weight and doesn't need handouts?
Oh.
Yes, he was about to head home. Cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the Kuketu uniform I saw him in all the time.
I see.
Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him, cause he's gonna be buried without it.
Did we have anything to do with that?
No, Rene was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing you or I could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable.
He has doubts, but right now, he just wants to move on and not think about it.
Was he really that bad?
I repeat, an absolute cunt. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to.
Did you love him?
We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that...
He falls silent and looks at you, eyes filling up with tears.
Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were?
Tell me.
In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that.
Well, here's something to remember him by, I suppose.
Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young René looked so happy, and Jenny...
Eyes blurry with tears, he has to stop.
I'm sorry, officer. I just... Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me.
That was nice. A small thing for us, but invaluable to him. He probably didn't even know René had the photo.
You know what happened to his medals?
I took them for myself. Took them to remember that old cunt.
You stop saying that, the
Nobody
video
knew
gets
him better
demonetized.
than I did. And I want to remember that old cunt by
For
something.
God's sake, Gaston.
Strange how old cunt sounds almost gentle when he says it now.
Yeah, well, YouTube disagrees. Well, I offer my sincere condolences.
Yes, we are both very sorry for your loss.
It is what it is. Part of life, really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone.
Yeah, it's fucked.
I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something.
I was hoping to ask him about Maybells.
René wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer. And believe me, he didn't like Insulindian lilies.
Wait, Insulindian lilies?
That's their old name, dating back to the time of kings and crests, and all that other stuff he loved so much.
I like to point out we did ask him about this. Why didn't he like them?
There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communals. They called them the Bells of Revolution.
Sad smile passes his face.
I guess in the end, the Insulindian lilies were just another piece of the whole Insulinde. The royalists had to surrender to the Mazovian insurgents. It doesn't really matter anymore.
Bye for now. Can I ask him about his sandwich?
Mon Dieu, officer. It is worse than I thought. Believe me, I know all about that kind of pain. I've had hip trouble for the past week.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's time to slow down, enjoy life a bit. Anything I can do to assist you?
What about the Union?
Officer, I just can't do this right now. The Union, it just doesn't matter anymore.
What about things about René?
Yes? What about René?
My condolences.
It is I just
Okay,
don't...
I was gonna try and ask for a sandwich, but he ain't buying it. He ain't even gonna talk about it, so I missed my chance. It is what it is. Maybe we'll go see Kuno after this as well. See what he has to say about the fact that I got shot. He was probably out there at that time anyway. I guess we'll speak to Cindy the Skull. The kids are still there.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here.
Hold up. I need to get all dressed up for conceptualization.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here. Yeah. Why?
Why must we stop to look at this?
I wanted to look at it. Leave me alone. Get off my back. You're not my dad. Hey kids, I got fucked up.
Everyone says you started crying in the middle of a firefight and then bled like a pig. I guess that was cool.
I guess that's true. I was crying.
Cool. That's very cool to Kuno.
Thanks, Kuno.
Just don't think because you got half your dick shot off and you're an invalid now, Kuno's gonna treat you different.
I wouldn't expect it any other way.
Kuno doesn't reward weakness. It's business as usual with Kuno. Kuno's cold like that.
I would expect nothing less.
Feels good for some reason.
I'm glad. Talk about your shack.
What do you want with it?
Nothing.
Good call, Pigmeister.
All
Watch
right.
out, Pig. It's a dangerous world out there. But Kuno's got his eyes on you.
What's that mean?
Who knows?
Could mean anything. Could mean nothing. He'll never tell. Cool, good. Okay, thanks, Kuno. Appreciate it, yeah. I feel watched. I guess we could go check this way and just see what the situation is. I'm not expecting anything. Racist lorry driver's gone. I'm not racist, I've read books. Bunch of banners over the place. Go talk to Manana.
The Voyager stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
Danger comes with the Boyadero lifestyle, right?
There are types of danger. The one I'm usually concerned with is lung cancer or getting mauled by wildlife, not bullets.
Well, bullets are real, and they're here, and one's in my leg.
It calls back to an older era where this was commonplace, though. You have a true Boyadero heart.
Thanks. So where is everyone?
Hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's in full lockdown, friend. No getting in or out, for the time being.
You can't help me get in?
No, man. Not today. Today is war.
Oh.
He says it matter-of-factly, like it's no big deal.
Good sign. So what's gonna happen next?
Time will tell. I'll tell Everett you drop by. I'm sure he'll be glad.
So what will you be doing now?
I'll be okay here, doing lookout. Quite the sight, aren't they? Getting to like that rare I am.
It's ominous.
Don't worry about me. I live to alleviate the worries of our brothers. See if any insane killers turn up. Then I'll run. And live.
Try not to get shot, huh?
I'm sure I'll be luckier than you, friend.
His grin is as wide as a desert. Good talking to you, bye. Is Measurehead still up here? Is he gonna have things to say? That's magnetically sealed, isn't it? Yeah, there's no getting in there. I can finally get to the box! What's in the box? It's money. I'm somewhat disappointed. I was kind of hoping for, like, I don't know, a hat or something. No, there's nothing. There's nothing. I really wanted, like, a hat or something. But no, there's nothing. There's nothing. So I presume, like, you know, apprehending Ruby obviously triggers the tribunal, but I imagine if you just fuck around for too long, like if you just let the days pass and don't do anything and don't advance the case, the tribunal happens anyway, and you have even less to go into it with. But, yeah, judging by the comments in the last video, I definitely went there a little sooner than people were expecting. I think they were expecting me to play it out a bit more first, but, you know, I don't know, just playing the video game. No one was critical or anything, it's just people were surprised, that's all.
The trap is full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. Poor things.
There is no Phasmid. No hope, no dreams, no Phasmid, nothing. There's my car. Good times. I still miss that car. There's Lillian. Should I try and ask her out on a date even though Kim's here? What's the worst that could happen? Fuck it. Go all in. Go all in. All in. What have I got to lose? Actually, first of all, let's tell the old lady that Ruby's fine. May as well. She's like a free agent in all this.
Our tenant, the policeman. I
I got
the wave
shot.
will keep you. Even I can see that. I told you not to bring your trouble with you, policeman. We've got troubles of our own here.
The shooting was not done here, was it?
Though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own ill omen.
Haha, I guess you were right.
I'm not sure those were the last of the men with guns either. There are always more coming for your kind, officer.
I'm fucking sure.
Then we'll be ready for them.
Yeah, Dex and Sinister will be ready for them. I'm so screwed if they come back again. I'll be in so much trouble. Let me guess, the sloop is gone? The sloop is gone. There's the boat. Should ask the owner before you take this boat. Yeah, I fucking should, actually, and in fact I will. Hello.
Officer, what happened? You're limping. Why are you limping? You look terrible.
I was shot whilst very bravely wrestling 10 armed mercenaries. They were also Nazis, and I was defending a school bus full of small children.
She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
I got shot in the foot. It was pretty badass. You would have liked it.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was pretty bad, actually.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guilhem. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
I don't see her being into that, to be honest. I have questions.
Of course. Can I help you with something?
It's time for a date.
Oh, yes, she does.
Oh, no.
You need to get your drink on. There is no other way for human beings to procreate. Not after 6,000 years of yeast cultivation-based mating rituals.
There's literally no other way. I like you, but I'm afraid to be around you because you're a woman.
Okay. Where's this going?
I need to be drunk. You do too. Please get drunk with me on a drunk date.
Absurdly and pointedly phrased. You can be quite funny, officer. Anyway, what did you want?
The very, 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 very key thing to note here, ladies and gentlemen, is the following line. She doesn't laugh, which means it was a complete failure.
She doesn't even understand you asked her out. Perhaps you're too sober to pull it off right now. Try again later.
Yeah, well, we need to get to that island.
That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead.
2 days of sunshine, I just got a bacterial infection. Can we borrow your boat?
If you promise to bring it back. And no scraping the hull. I just got it nice and yellow. And no drinking on the boat. And no joyriding either.
I can promise one of these 3 things.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business.
Extremely official.
Aye.
Nod along attentively.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you.
The infection.
I'm sad to hear that. Take care of that with ether, will you? Don't get too many RCM men round here. Be sad to lose the first one.
So what's on that island? I saw some kind of ruins through the binoculars.
Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war. For the communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think. Bombed to bits in the landing. I haven't been there myself. Always steered clear of it.
Makes sense.
Hasn't been there herself. Who has then?
You said you haven't been there. Who has?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told me.
I'm sure they did.
The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to, but they bring back old bullet casings and such.
Which kids?
The twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Huh.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be alright?
Be my guest. They've a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do.
So is there anything I should know about getting there?
Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side.
South side.
Water's deep there.
Right.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Aye, aye, Captain. Thanks, we'll use your skiff.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it's a small tank.
Be seeing ya. I'm gonna use it to the last drop, and then I'm gonna get shot on the island and the thing will stay there. Because I'm just that kind of guy. I think kids, I don't know, empathy would probably be the best course of action, would it not? Maybe? I don't know. Could be. Could also not be. I have no idea. I'm just fucking trying things, and maybe half-light will help. I like my gloves. And more empathy, less logic. That's how you deal with children.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
You must be Lillian's twins,
Lily's mum.
says one of the twins. Alright, you've been to that island, right?
On that island?
Yeah, that one. I need to know what's there.
That's, nothing. It's just a seafort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great.
Cool.
And we make a fire. We make a fire.
Make a fire.
Gather the sticks for the fire. And bullets. Or not real bullets, empty bullets.
Okay.
Bullet shells. There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important.
Wait, you mean shells?
I don't know what those are.
What then?
They're lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
Fire guy?
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a guy.
A guy.
They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off.
Someone lives there?
No.
The boy answers, shaking his head vehemently.
Yes.
His brother looks at him, then you.
Let's go with yes.
Why is he the fire guy?
Because
The boy pauses to think.
he asks to put the fire out.
Makes sense. Why does he ask you to put the fire out?
I don't know. He doesn't like it. He don't like people to be there. You shouldn't go.
I'm definitely gonna go.
Yes.
The other one adds laconically, standing with his hands glued to his sides like a little tin soldier.
Because he doesn't want to be found. Smoke traces.
Mention lights.
I don't know.
Starts with, it's hard to tell which one's even talking now.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
He points at the street light.
Yes.
Okay, that's not reliable, but okay. Is there anything else you can tell me about this guy? Age? Does he live there?
No, he doesn't live there. I don't think.
Huh.
No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times.
Okay.
He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Which means he's not always there.
Anything else? What does this guy look like?
What's his face like?
I don't know.
How come?
We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there.
Ah. Didn't your father go to that island?
Our father killed himself.
Oh?
Don't say that, he didn't.
His brother punches him. Okay. Say nothing. This has nothing to do with me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Is that all you know? Is there anything more you can tell me about the island?
There's
The boy says, rubbing his eyes. It's clear that he has no intention of finishing the sentence.
Lights. Fire guy. We should check up on that island.
For sure. Goodbye, kids. Take care. Okay, well, that's a thing. There are things there. There is a thing there, at least a human being, presumably, of some kind. Which, you know, might be our guy, might not be our guy. Only one way to know. What if I talk to you, Kim?
Yes?
Nope, nothing to say. Okay, let's get in the boat. I'm gonna acquire this boat in the name of the police. Once I finish walking really slowly.
A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty.
Perfect. Precisely the amount of seats we need.
Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now?
Yes, I am.
Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts?
Now, I know this is the point in which I'm supposed to wander around and do everything I can in the game before coming back and saying, yep, I'm ready. But... nah, I want to go now. I think on a second playthrough, I'd be more inclined to really explore everything. And that's something I'd probably do off camera, where I have more time to just kick back, look at everything, figure things out on my own accord, you know. But for what we're doing now, I genuinely would like to progress.
Remember what the netpicker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
For sure. You take the engine, Kim, I'll hold the boombox.
What?
What? How else do we blast Sad FM on our way to the island?
Fine. Let's blast Sad FM then.
Yeah!
Sad FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency by heart.
Of course I do. Let's go. Perfect. It had to be this way. I'd love to use that as a thumbnail, but...
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence.
I was expecting at any point for us to fucking skim something with the boat and for it to fucking go down.
In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance.
The guy probably knows we're coming.
Let's go.
Let's go. We're on the island. We have arrived. Makeshift bridge. The bombs were powerful enough to break the foundation. Rusted chain trails off into the ocean.
The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
This leads to the depot in Land's End.
Ah, yes. So it seems.
What do you reckon it was used for?
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain.
Ah.
As a defensive measure, lock it off that side of the bay.
Lock it from whom?
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
Okay. This is a big place. These tires are falling apart. They're at least 50 years old. Attention, inflammable. Some fuel has leaked out of the barrel, black and viscous. There's lingering trace of mazout in the air. Yeah, I bet there is. There's just a straight up door up ahead.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea.
What is that flutter?
The flock of quail departs. Now more than 100 meters away. 102, 105.
Underneath the flutter.
On the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline. Long dried leaves chafing against each other.
Huh.
Like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work.
Don't talk to me about silent orchestras, I don't want to hear it. I just do not want to hear it. To the west.
A silent hiss. Sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree.
To the east.
The faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand. The low tide filtered through its grains. A bird tending to its feathers.
Ahead.
A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow. A big building.
Beyond that, further north.
Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless.
Below the silence.
A jitter. A sound impatient to happen, but not yet in this world.
Ah.
You hear some kind of limb fidget, producing an imperceptible tick.
Ah.
No, it's just your imagination. You can't hear such things.
Kim?
Yes?
Momentarily, the sounds are swept away. Pain shoots up your right foot and into your groin.
Oh. Have you noticed how quiet it is?
I have. Is that why we're stopping?
Yeah, let's move. Why did you move the camera over there? Why did you do that? Arrow says ICM, you see a star with little specks in it.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
What is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards Army, the black and white army of the revolution.
It's very similar to RCM.
Sounds an awful lot like.
RCM, sounds like us.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May?
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
I see.
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex.
Time for politics.
It's going to be hard to say them. Carrying around all that weight on a busted crutch is making you pant.
Huh. It's a little embarrassing in 51, no? Maybe we need a rebrand?
No one remembers the ICM. The connotation is less important each year.
He bows to inspect the barrel. A white star.
No, an upside-down star.
It is.
With its horns in the sky. The symbol of the commune.
Those speck stars too?
No, that's the uninhabited archipelago.
Ah.
A DeLorean-era symbol of Insulinda, known as the face in the sea.
Tell you what, when I do another playthrough of this game, I am not going to put a single fucking point into Encyclopedia, because goddamn. Looks old, what's it still doing here?
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Gefreiter. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
Yeah, well, finish the thought. Interesting. A little birch from the coin-operated viewer, still holding on. No way to get up there, the stairs are gone. I guess we gotta go in through the door. Ah, This is a place. This is once an armament rest. Twin cannons were attached here, medium distance, large caliber. Interesting. Careful, these stairs have collapsed. Good to know. What's this?
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right.
Okay.
The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
Anything?
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
So where do these wires lead?
Downstairs, somewhere?
What kind of generator is it?
Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout.
He points to the open fuel cap on the side of the dynamo.
The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter, long and cold.
I've noticed.
If anyone stayed here, they'd need a generator.
For sure. I'm gonna tap on it.
A hollow ring. The canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator and down into the ammo lift.
So what does this mean? A generator here?
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
I meant, why is it here?
Someone with basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm. Maybe it's the fire guy.
Probably the fire guy.
The wind outside picks up suddenly, with a faint howl. Inside, it's warm.
Good, good, good. Hints and stuff and clues, leads, books, mostly fantastique and historical fiction. Dishes stained with sauce and fire, a survivor's kitchen. See candles planted on a broken rangefinder. A moth-bitten bedsheet keeps the wind out. Can I steal his clothes? Yeah, I can. Bone arrower shirt. Ooh, if only I had a gun. Army surplus winter scarf. This seems more my speed. There we go, and it matches the color scheme. I've almost got a full found set. Can you imagine?
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracal blanket.
Uh-huh.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
How recently?
A flash of pain interrupts you, making you wince instead of letting the words out.
Next time I get a level up, I'm putting a point into pain threshold.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
Maybe a little shut-eye, just an hour.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. Like a dog, you lie there.
Curl up with your knees close to your chest.
The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. Concrete and cold. Minutes pass. Half an hour maybe. The sounds of the sea beyond grow distant. Your eyelids close. Until? You feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the blackness. It's evening.
Oh fuck. That's a long time.
Sleep.
That was probably not wise. Kim's not here. This was a poor move. The lieutenant is no longer here. Go outside to the beach. Okay. Is that outside to the beach? Because apparently I'm not allowed to go that way. I shouldn't have slept. That was a mistake. I definitely shouldn't have done that. The door is still here, closed. Feels strange somehow. You can't get in. Oh yeah, this is a dream sequence, I'm sure. Go down to the chain, there's something there. I haven't even explored all the island yet. Which suggests to me I probably should have done that first. Walk into the water now. Oh, okay. See her footprints on the water. Further. Oh, hello, ma'am.
Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state turns around to face you. She has an airship airbag in her hand. She seems to be in a hurry.
I assume this is representative of us holding our previous partner in, like, up to an impossible standard. I don't know.
Okay, don't say you need to talk right away. Melt the ice first. This way you're already talking.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold and mean. Let her go.
Okay.
Let her go. This is the Holy Queen of the territories of Muindi and Insulinda. Think of the historic knowledge we could glean. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win her back.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, actually. Both professionally and romantically. I've come to a fulfilling and peaceful period in my life. Well, how are you doing, Harry?
I'm not doing very well.
Don't say that. I know this positive thing sounds stupid to you, Harry, but it works. We all have an obligation to be happy. You too. And you will be. Now.
She looks over her shoulder.
This is everything I always warned you about.
Yeah, well, we're here now, aren't we? Something is off.
I'm sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have time to...
She stops mid-sentence, glances to her right, then looks at her bag.
She means she doesn't have time to tend to your emotions.
You don't have time to tend to my emotions.
She sighs and looks over her shoulder. What are you doing? Stop saying things like that.
Don't tell me what to do. Where are you going?
I'm going to Morova. To live there, in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime.
But what's in the bag?
Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush, travel documents, the crown of immortality.
Aren't you already wearing it?
Oh, this.
She corrects the wreath on her forehead.
This is just a wreath. The crown of immortality is made of rarefied light, mana and raw palladium. It was passed on to me by the rulers of late antiquity.
Uh-huh.
She looks at the suitcase, not knowing what more to say. Then, over her shoulder, silence. Her nuptial gown flows in the wind, wraps around her holy body.
Anyway.
Skin is holy and soft.
No, Harry. It's just regular skin. I'm not as beautiful as you always thought I was. Let's not get into.
Yes, you are.
She does not answer. There's that expression again.
The expression.
Silence. A distant wind blows. You can't think of anything pretty to say.
Ah, and I just put a point into conceptualization as well. Can you stay for a moment? We need to talk. We need to have one more massive epic showdown.
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive epic showdown.
Boring.
I want to go to the aerodrome. I have tickets for the 10:20 flight to Morova. Really?
Really?
We don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. Us. Our love. Our unborn daughters.
I assume this is representative of, like, Harry's esteem for his previous partner, because I'm pretty sure Dolores Day lived, like, hundreds of years ago or something, although I may be getting the timeline horrifically wrong there.
It's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Revachol and you. And you have to be alone. In hell. Forever. That's just the way it is.
That's unfortunate.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try it now.
I get the feeling you're not really Dolores Day.
I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day?
You're the X something.
Wasn't I Dolores Day just a second ago? I haven't even bought the tickets yet.
We all told you. Everyone warned you.
Who, everyone?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Literally all of you.
I'm glad we're having this conversation. I'm getting so much closure.
I'm glad too, but I have to go. My friends are waiting for me on the platform. I can't let them wait. It's impolite.
Cool, your friends. Say hi to your friends for me then.
I will.
The evening wind blows in and the gown wraps around her like a white flag.
1,000 times you beat an animal. 1,000 times you've raised that fabric. What is underneath has always calmed you, centered you, made you sane. In your mind, you could still climb inside her bed. Still the only man.
You're the morning.
The morning? I don't understand.
No, I meant morning. I'm grieving, but you're even dead. Not even dead.
Oh my god, Harry, stop. I don't want to hear anything about the morning. Mourning someone who's still alive. Any of that. I can't do that anymore. I'm not 80 years old, I'm 32. People my age are not supposed to mourn.
That's wildly untrue. Nah, you're Dolores Day, Queen Regent of the Territories and whatever, and nothing else.
Yes, Harry. I am. Things have gotten much better for me, now that I am the ruler of the known world. Oh god, it's already so late. I have to go, Harry.
She pulls up the silvery sleeve of her gown to check the time.
A tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrists.
I brought you this figurine of a headless phone rider.
I don't want it. It looks expensive. I don't want it.
I thought you liked figurines.
That's not what figurines do, Harry.
But then the figurines don't do anything.
She looks at the headless found rider between your fingers and doesn't know what to say.
Downer.
The figurines don't do anything? Anything at all. But I thought the historic figure she had.
Liked war games and figurines?
Yes, I thought it would be good.
You were wrong, reaction speed.
A form of communication where words are found.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Unfortunately, no.
It was a good idea, but she felt obliged by the headless phone rider to give you things in return. Things she no longer wants to give you. So she refused. That's how it goes. Your figurine rider idea was naive.
Okay, nothing for you then, no presents.
I didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked the headless fallen rider back then.
You said I have a vast soul.
We both said a lot of things. We were very young.
It was her. I can feel it. I can see it in her tender long fingers, in her wrists. Her hand wrote it, said those things.
Well, actually, you didn't say it, you wrote it in a letter. A handwritten letter. I kept it in my paperwork.
As Queen Regnant, I write a lot of letters.
Oh, I'm sure.
You need to recite it to her. For effect. All of it. No summaries.
I have it right here. Let me refresh your memory. Let's take a pause bitterly trip down memory lane.
Please, Harry. I just don't have time for this.
Every morning. Oh, this is a car crash. When I step out and you're asleep behind me, I'll find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows, until by the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me completely. I step on the light rail and look back. Something bow collector. I will be like this until I walk back to you. You, every step I take will get lighter. Almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
Okay, stop. Yes. Are you happy now?
Being a police detective, I have performed a handwriting analysis on this, so I know it was you.
Very well. I wrote it. It was morning. You slept. There was hoarfrost on the ground when I left, on Voyager Road. It was autumn. The first autumn. But Harry, please understand, it was 1,000,000 years ago. No, it was 100 million years ago. I was someone else then, filled to the brim with love for you, hanging on your every word. Oh, Harry, you were the coolest. But I am no longer that person. This has taken her place. It will devour you. Harry, I will eat your mind.
Downer.
The light of the video rental shines through her dress now. A DeLorean figure, cut in black, moves below. It's still her. Her legs, her breasts, her hips.
I was cool?
The coolest. With your leather jacket and your boot-cut pants, smoking in the bus stop. I wanted you to be the rest of my life that day. And you were. Some of it, at least. You were my first kiss, my first time to have sex. The first and worst time I fell in love. I will always have that with me. It's a fact. But that is all it is. It's like a ticket stub, Harry. It doesn't do anything anymore.
A ticket stub.
Yes, let's talk about that too. Let's bring it up, the zoo. In Le Jardin, the day we went east of the river, to the aquarium first, I was sad about my mother. I don't even know why. The shimmer of the fish tank on my face. The octopuses.
Octopi.
It was just a day then, but to think. Were we there now, you could touch my hair, kiss me, talk to me about anything, go virtually anywhere in the world. Not like now. Now our interactions are limited to pain and regret.
You turn back to the person you were? I can see her in you under the gown and that wreath.
And my crown of immortality. No. You scared her out of me. With your crying, the awful time we wound up having. And the cheap rental flats you could afford. Can't you see? I can never think you're cool again. I can only think that way about new people.
Huh.
A cheap rental with mold on the walls and the tap dripping.
Cheap flats, so the rich man took you from me.
Yes, I have found someone. For whom I can feel the same. A copy of my love for you, only this time he is careful and rich. He will not lose me. It will go somewhere, it will grow.
Your heart burns. Through the blackness you feel the trickle of blood on the mattress below you.
Harry, do you notice how none of this is very funny?
That's very funny, ha ha ha.
Stop laughing like that, please. It's scary.
Everything about this game is scary. So where is Voyager Road?
It's here. We are on Voyager Road. At the end of it, 300 meters from the stop. We used to come here to rent videos.
Hence Video Revachol. The house.
There. You could not pay the electrical bill. It became a lightless tomb. The years you spent training for the militia, my parents' money, it was not good.
Surely the alcohol didn't help either.
No. Was the drinking?
Everyone has a little glass of wine every now and then. I certainly do. It's a queen regnant thing. I don't think it was the alcohol. It was inevitability.
And alcohol, probably.
See, if you drank with her, you'd be cool again. If you drank with her, you could have sex on alcohol.
Shut up, electrochemistry, not now. I'm busy. What happens now? What's the next thing we talk about?
Is there really anything left? If not, we can always repeat one of the things we have already talked about. Talk about it again. If you do not feel like doing that, then you should let me go to the aerodrome.
Don't let her. Don't let her go there. You should redo the topics. Go over everything. The things you didn't say before, too. Make it go on and on.
It's a weird thing for interfacing to say. Fuck it. What effect will this have on our psyche? It's not real, Harry.
With your feet trembling from the steps you took, tepid and fearful, you stand against her body close to you, radiating warmth. With your eyes closed, you move your lips on her mouth.
This will only go well, I'm sure.
She is not kissing you back.
Well, that's the time to immediately stop then, isn't it?
The moment is ending. She is going to move her face away from yours.
Oof. Extreme oof. Maximum oof.
Trying hard not to look at you. When she withdrew and you held onto her hand, she tried not to look at your face and see the expression there.
But I don't have the expression anymore.
Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how I failed you.
I am a failure. You're the apricot chewing gum scented one.
No, I'm just Dora.
Well, that's it then.
No, Harry, not yet. There is one more thing you have to see.
She slides a hand down her chest and onto her lower stomach and smiles.
I'm pregnant.
It's... swallow.
You know what this means.
Is it mine?
Of course not.
Oh. She looks down at her belly, then up into your old eyes.
I terminated yours. Don't you remember? You poor fuck. Poverty-stricken fuck.
And now this is where Harry's actual brain is coming into it.
Now, go ahead. Ask me more questions. Let's talk about something else.
More questions. Ask more.
Nah, we're done.
I have to, Harry. Really, I've already missed the 8:30. I'm gonna go now.
She's going.
Lies, sire. She cannot but love you. She has said so 100 times.
I understand. Nod like a martyr.
No, you don't. You're just being a martyr. And I'm really going now. The time is up. I must be on the 10:20 flight.
Will we ever see each other again?
I won't see you, but you will see me.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. How can that be?
Oh, Harry. This is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened? A year? 2? 5 years ago?
Yeah, I gathered that. How will I see you again then?
Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a week, at least. And Harry, it really, really looks like it started happening again.
Probably.
There's the video rental. I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time. So long ago.
This is intolerably bad.
Oh yes. This is real darkness. It's not death or war or child molestation. Real darkness has love for a face. The first death is in the heart, Harry.
Damn, Harry.
See you tomorrow.
So Harry goes through this whole fucking conversation like every other night. I'm guessing. Kim, I had a shit dream. But I did gain experience.
You're
while
up,
sleeping.
Greek. How was your sleep?
Solve the fucking case. It was total annihilation, Kim.
I did not want to wake you. Perhaps I should have? Was it a job dream?
Nope, an ex-wife dream.
The lieutenant nods solemnly.
Huh.
I understand. We've all been through similar things. it can be overcome.
For sure. The sleep was deep and invigorating.
Of course. I was just thinking maybe you've torn your stitches. Are you ready to move on?
Let's comb the entire island, centimeter by centimeter. That's the next step in the task chain.
Okay.
He replies simply.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed and squealed in your sleep.
I can only imagine. I'm going to put a point into pain threshold because that's causing us some problems right now.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized.
Sift.
Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures.
Classic.
Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp. Light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Thrilling.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Lieutenant inspects the softcover. Does anything stand out as unusual?
Not that you can tell. This is a digest of someone who's dead bored. Most of it is for entertainment purposes, fittingly right next to the radiola on the floor.
Nothing out of the ordinary?
Maybe it's a little old-fashioned. There's a nude mag. More than that, you can't say.
Well then.
The print in some of these is pretty small, though. This person has good eyesight.
Oh, I bet. They're going to be a sniper, they probably have to. 7 hours, that's not going to be done by the time we're done here. Ooh. Money and magnesium. And magnesium. A lot of magnesium. This great blast door must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off of it. I probably should have bought healing items before I came here. I probably should have made more preparations than none.
See a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
What's on the other side?
Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still be usable.
So how do we open it?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He looks at the door, then at its bigger brother, then at the lock.
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
You're right, we opened the big one. Do you see controls anywhere?
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
Okay. Ah, machines.
Green paint flicks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
Just run our fingers across it.
The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functional in decades.
Oh, what's all this then?
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here.
Did this open the blast door?
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radio diffusé. It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
Maybe.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a radio computer.
Push light interior.
Nothing happens.
Radio dial?
The dial slides under the glass, silently. You make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency. The words, Feld Insular, are written on the band.
Fascinating.
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military communications.
Fantastic. Turn open.
We need to restore power before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was fuel in it.
So we need fuel.
We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
He looks into the dim light to his right.
The boat engine.
Or we could get some from the boat.
But officer, then we would have to swim back to the mainland. Let's just look around, okay?
The consul stands by, mutely.
Fine, I guess we have to do it the smart way. Hatch is jammed shut. There's magnesium and money underneath that, for some reason. Water rushes below, far down below. A firing slit, you can't see inside. Isn't it a very real possibility that we're just going to get sniped while we're doing this? It's been a direct hit to take out such a large chunk. I just went this way. I knew how this looks despite having never been here. Because I am a detective. Don't you know? I know. Because I'm a detective. I deduced it about myself.
A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea. Leave it all and walk in.
Oh, yeah.
With a bottle in your hand.
A bottle in my hand?
Always.
Why?
Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you.
That's stupid.
Smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal.
But it's cold.
Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of her mouth.
No.
Yes, 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 yes.
No.
No. We're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over.
Yeah, raise your sight.
In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers. And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down.
Uh-huh.
Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go. Step in. It's been too long.
Shake your head. That's not a very good thought process at all. Not productive. The winch is broken, rust is eating what remains of the chain. The depot that supplied this chain is long gone from the coast. Nowhere else to go in this direction. Means presumably we'd have to go back in the other direction, because that's where the barrels were, and search for fuel there. This definitely has a note of finality about it. This is almost definitely like the last level, as it were, and also somewhere where we may die. Feels more like our character will die here than in the actual tribunal itself. Pain in your pelvis makes you wince, then you continue. Inside of the fortress, you make out the console and the command door. And the blast door. Why did I even say that? That makes no sense. Fuel. Lum fuel canister. Weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. An old medicine cabinet, newly stocked with dramamine. That's good, I probably am gonna need that. Why am I finding money?
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
Surely this is the firing point.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from. No, wait. This is important. I have a feeling. What can you see?
Yeah, I know, Kim. I wanted to get my visual calculus stuff out first, but fine. Inspect the mattress.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns.
Okay.
And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Pick one out.
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri.
I saw the same brand of cigarettes extinguished in Land's End.
Could be a coincidence. Or the same person has visited Land's End and here. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
And a sniping spot?
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Touch the concrete first.
Quite old and grimy, from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
Now let's look through the hole. It's going to be a direct line in there.
As you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation. A tingling feeling in your stomach.
As I'm about to get sniped.
A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar.
And what's on the left?
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, and 33B.
And on the right?
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the Whirling in Rags, Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10, the doomed commercial area.
And between the two,
the box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop, sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
Motherfucker.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that.
Kim, with a pair of binoculars, I would be able to see inside the room.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
Yeah.
Cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Kim, I could make it. I could make the shot.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Here it is.
Affirmative.
Booyah, master cop work.
It's only moderately effective cop work until we have the weapon. It will not be, how do you say it, booyah, until we have that.
Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
On this island?
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and
we should move now.
I agree. Turn away. I think pain threshold's going to be a reoccurring issue for us at the moment, so I'm going to start sinking points into it like nothing else. It makes sense. We're learning to manage the pain. You feel eyes on your back. Someone's watching, but you can't say where. If we don't get sniped, it'll be a fucking miracle. And in fact, on that note, as we may get ambushed at any time, put the armor back on. Just in case.
This old cylindrical generator waits with it. The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell.
Good.
There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch.
Pull the rope.
The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
Well, if he didn't know he was here, we were here before, he will soon.
That should do it.
Good. Be worth actually putting a point to conceptualization to see if we can figure out that thing there, but it might not be the most crucial thing in the world. I think pain threshold's a little more important right now.
A dim golden glow animates the console.
It's on. Turn emergency open.
You got it.
Boot.
Automatic boot. Turn it.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
There it is. I'm ready to go get shot, because that's obviously what's going to happen.
After you.
After me. When we were outside, I felt someone watching me.
So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here.
What's there?
I don't know.
What if we get into another fight?
Don't worry. I have a gun.
Great, good. What if they take you out first? I don't have a gun.
Extra good that I do.
Agreed. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I won't make the same mistake as before. Okay, right. I can hit someone with this thing. I can. I can hit them with this real good. And I will, if necessary. What is this? A rubber dinghy. It's deflated and broken. Tragic. Oh, fuck, look, it's the sniper. Hey, man. Okay, well, I guess we're doing this now, aren't we? Hi.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth.
Now the question is, why the fuck would this guy shoot either Classier or the mercenary? We got a guy, we got a gun, but we don't have a motive yet. Well, this is going to be a conversation.
Then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours.
Hello, sir.
Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
Yeah, I bet it is.
He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Are you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
I bet you can't. Did you recently tell 2 kids to put out their fire? 2 twins?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
Uh-huh.
The position? Sounds like a hiding place.
Let me guess, he's a communard and he still believes the war is on.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
They were kids. You've retained your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
There's a lot. Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
Well, I fueled the generator and used the console.
I should have burned that console down.
He shakes his head. How did you know I was coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Yeah, I did do that.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
But you didn't say that, Kim.
I did.
No, you didn't.
We have entered a world where he said you shouldn't. It is the only world.
It was not rock and roll, it was sad FM.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic, counter-revolutionary dirges. Sadness is a mental illness. A weapon of the bourgeoisie.
Well, depression is a mental illness. They're 2 different things, technically.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hip gyrating, mental illness music.
You gotta live a bit, man. Come on. Nice gun.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is that Belle McGrave?
It's a 3-Angong 446.
Huh, right caliber, wrong rifle.
A Samurai rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It must be quite valuable.
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
He pats the rifle.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
The Hisenyao commune?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball.
His gaze turns inward. We'll establish it. You can keep the gun, but keep it down. Not one move.
No.
Oh, okay. Alright, Kim.
Put it down now, sir.
Okay.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway.
Good job, Kim. That was probably the better move.
It's out of bullets.
Good. I would still maybe... don't be too relaxed, Kim. He might be decent in a scrap. The old man lays the rifle down carelessly, then looks at it lying there.
Like an amputated limb in the sand.
I'll pick it up.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire.
Let's give it a look-see.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut.
Very fancy gun.
On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
As he said, it's a Shrangong, made in his Sinyao.
No one said it has to be a Belle McGrave. We were just guessing.
It's true. The lieutenant does not take his eyes off the old man.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangong, too.
Yeah, it works.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
This uses jacketed ammunition, 446.
The right type and the right calibre.
Lieutenant nods, glancing at the gun.
He's liking this.
He's quite happy about this situation. Stow the gun.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly.
I wouldn't. I will hit you with this convulsant.
This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
In time. So who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol.
That's a lot of titles, sir.
I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
His eyes turn to the reeds again, dead and dull.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
Lieutenant forgets to close his mouth.
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the Army of the Revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orion, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08.
The whole kit and caboodle.
I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
You literally shot the mercenary because he was a member, like a military guy, or you perceived him as a military guy, right? Literally, because he was just still fighting a war that isn't even happening anymore.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
You've been on this island for 43 years?
No. I've been on other islands, too.
Oh boy. Jet, sir.
I was in a resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48. A nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years?
43 years and 10 months.
I don't even know what that is.
It's inhuman. It's sick. It's not how a human being should live, but I had to.
No, you didn't.
I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
There are ways to deal with that.
He just couldn't.
You couldn't give up.
He nods. But he can now.
Why now?
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
He looks across the water.
2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects giant letters across the plaza mosaic in dark red government-marked heavy fuel oil. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smelling of petroleum. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Huh.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
Girl child revolution?
Always.
I mean, nothing in history is guaranteed, but revolution is still a possibility.
No. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves.
If you say so.
The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
Okay.
So that's why he's the deserter.
Once a deserter, always a deserter?
I have done everything a man can do. What have you done?
Attempted to save people's lives?
We keep people alive. We help them survive, whatever the ideological situation, day in and day out.
Yeah, instead of just sitting on islands fishing.
Survive? For what?
To live, you should try it sometime. You said you deserted your unit.
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
I'm sure. Lapse of faith?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took.
For what?
For reaction to take hold.
What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
When was this exactly?
May the 13th, 08. 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic? They put the dark mark in the sky?
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower.
He gestures towards it.
Huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
He looks east. What then?
I ran. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers underground, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
He looks at the sky.
Airships. Multi-rotored airships used in the landing.
Airships?
Aerostatics. The landing had started. I climbed out. Into hell. There were ships all above, hissing, whirling, and men pouring out. The chain was submerged, so I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too. Shattered.
Huh.
They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed.
I see.
And then you see it as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know.
Know what?
That the bourgeois are not human.
Let him finish.
I had to. I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
What is this place? Oh, sorry. The old man falls silent, his black eyes keep piercing your skin as he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. So what is this place, this island?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
The retaking of Revachol?
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
Huh. First, I'm not one of them.
Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
Murderers, I know what you mean.
You don't know. You haven't seen it. Iblis.
Iblis?
The black-eyed angel.
But how have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
Sure.
Now hold on there.
Now that's a choice. You could have become self-employed, create the system.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables, supplies. It's the life of a dog.
He coughs once more, then puts his hand on his belly.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
Probably pretty bad. I don't think he's seen a doctor in a while.
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
You're probably dying.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
Probably.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
Probably.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
That one gun that Kim has done quite a lot.
You also have Druamine.
You have Druamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes and he smacks his dry lips.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
I'm sure. You're quite fond of it, aren't you?
It's the little joys. The dark joke. A sunshiny day. Morphine.
It's pretty serious, though. You need to be looked over and we can do it.
There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. Moribund.
How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of...
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
You notice the lieutenant is about to say something.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
I'm sure.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on, more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round.
Life continues.
It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
So how have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the tens. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins.
Huh.
And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequencies dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot. The commons, too. They'd started snitching.
I'm sure.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted.
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across the water. So why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
The weapons cache under St. Ghislaine 22B in the basement. Have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right?
They were.
Useless now. Rusted away.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
That's something.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
It all adds up.
Wait, how did he get down there?
How did you access the building? It's locked. At least now it is.
I didn't have to. Came in through the storm drains.
Huh.
Storm drains?
There used to be a system that connected the bunkers, tunnels and such, under the church and everywhere. Most of them are gone now. Collapsed. Just bricks. All the old infrastructure has...
There's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
One more question. Do you smoke Tiamutri cigarettes?
I do.
Ever smoked them on the mainland?
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
Makes sense. Something else.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
We enforce the law, we keep people from killing each other.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce land.
Yeah, and how's that going?
Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
His hands shake and he breaks into a coughing fit.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
You never signed the Revacholian Instrument of Surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
I see.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
I guess.
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Honorable, I suppose.
Honor is a feudal atavism. My motive is class.
Sure. So you're a communist soldier from the Communist Army?
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
You said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Yes, but that was ever so long ago. What does a political commissar do?
The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the Commune.
Lieutenant says softly.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
Uh-huh.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology.
That means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
Not really into politics myself.
You're inert lumpen with a gun.
Oh, I'm sure.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology.
He started it.
We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
It's true.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body.
I have another serious question for you.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
Okay. What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Well, yeah.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that.
Clearly.
I've used it to kill people.
Yeah.
Interesting. During or after the war?
In his mind, Kim, the war never ended.
There is no after the war.
There it is.
Class war is never over.
He shakes his head and smiles, his teeth rotten black.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay.
Okay.
This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But
what?
This is what you live for. This is the shit.
The shit?
The great serotonin jackpot.
Catching the perp?
The solution.
The solution.
Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those.
No euphemisms.
No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first.
Why is hand-eye coordination telling me that?
Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
So you're saying you kill people after active fighting stopped? Wait, so which one do I say then?
Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eyes look at you.
I mean, he doesn't know what a colonel of the security contractor Crenell is, so who knows? So after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
Keeps shaking his head erratically suddenly. He brushes something out of his eye.
What did I just tell you?
Huh?
Don't drop the ball now.
I know you want to tell me, have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
Uh-huh.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
Suggestion, you're really starting to piss me off. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenell? The obvious thing is that none of these options work.
The who now?
Yeah, he has no idea who they are, and doesn't care.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
The fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March 4th.
Oh yes, that one.
He wants me to say it.
Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Uh-huh.
Did you kill him?
The lieutenant takes a sudden step toward him.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the Commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
He spits a big one at the lieutenant's feet.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession.
He doesn't fucking care.
The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener.
Is it?
The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
Oh, great.
Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
We've done the ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
A jitter passes him.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
The lieutenant softens his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Druss. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
Clearly.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
Tough, you're going to prison.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
It's the best uninterrupted line of sight into that window in all of Martinez.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Another sudden twitch, then one more in his right eye.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
I don't need your cooperation, I've got this. Show him the gun. Peh.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your musketeer pistols.
They'd sort you out right and quick.
You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Would have been worse if we hadn't got in there.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen.
Of course he has.
He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Dramatically ask. You think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
Lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
This seems a bit too cut and dry.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and then twitches once more.
Like a marionette on some invisible string.
Huh.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
Come on, what am I forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of the head.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh yeah! My head hurts now.
Who cares? There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. And on Clausia's balcony.
Yes.
Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up.
Ow!
Yes, ouch. So good, it hurts. Those were not modern prints.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He looks at the blossoming field behind you.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
A mood swing? From this incredibly stable human being? I can't imagine.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilized them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it. The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
Yes, riveting.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
The lieutenant's voice is soft, friendly even.
I may.
A young woman called Classier. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Classier.
Yeah, you're gonna have something to say about that, aren't you?
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
Yes, you hadn't heard her name, had you?
My ears don't reach the city.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary?
With the victim?
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent, then the muscles in his jaw twitch, a spasm.
Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
Everything. I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
He looks at his running shoes covered in mud.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Duras.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out running shoes on his feet.
The maker is called Sansarique, and the size is 42 to 44.
Ah.
These are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
Interesting.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. People change shoes. Doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
Probably.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge.
Thanks, Kim.
The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something.
Uh-huh.
The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a soldier too. He was a man.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner.
Maybe you should. I don't think I'm arguing with him very well.
Got your attention.
Have you?
Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
I mean, I wasn't alive when they died by the hundreds, so...
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
Hold your breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
He begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own.
I guess that was his last bullet.
And so they did.
And apparently so we did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
The lieutenant asks after a second of silence. This will be good.
Yes.
Yes. A single word is all he gives.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly.
The old man nods.
Aha.
Why?
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
He shrugs, then smacks his lips.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
The motive is absurd.
You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
I don't really need a motive by this point, but sure.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Neither do I. Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
Sure.
A rifle's scope has the best magnification.
Probably.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
And to think nowadays developers get upset when a game critic says their game isn't very good. This is a form of critique you'd want to be careful about.
You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
What specifically did you not like?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
Okay.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing.
Christ.
That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
Yeah, small concessions, that's life.
This man has seen past her, like you did.
Uh-huh.
And now he longs to see her covered in blood.
I see.
To punish her.
You wanted to punish her, so you killed him.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
He shakes his head and stares at the ashes.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. Silks flowing in her wake.
The dream.
See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. Burning.
Men are insane. It's true. It's true.
The world is insane.
He raises his gaze, something glimmers in there, then it's gone. How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Moving.
Past the Fell building on a ghost? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are aware, but that term means cigarette, not the other thing that the word typically means.
And beautiful.
And beautiful.
That, too.
He nods.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
He has very good eyes.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on right there. She needed it just to move.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
This is the hidden boy she told us about? You looked into it?
After she was gone.
He nods.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
Sure.
This implies that he's thought about extorting her.
Huh.
Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
No, because the documents did not have the name Classier on them, I'm pretty sure. You checked the submersible, there was nothing there.
Why would I need that trash? I'm not going to Villiers.
Saw a name on the passport, but before when I said her name was Classier, you didn't seem to recognize it.
You didn't say Clasier in there.
What did it say her name was in the passport?
It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only remember her face on the photo.
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this? Can I actually spend points right now? Oh, I can. Apparently. Fuck it, I guess. More composure is good. Did you continue watching her?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
It's that kind of place.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
On your late night shows?
He's setting it up for you.
Uh-huh.
The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
Huh. And you can see her bruises through the scope of a rifle?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
He shakes his silver grey hair. Head. Whatever. Point is, how does he know about those minute details about her body? The peephole.
It quickly comes to you.
Bruises on her body. Any chance you've seen them through a hole in the wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Uh-huh.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Oh, noble soldier of the communists. Yes.
Did you make that hole?
Guaranteed.
With a clip point knife.
There it is.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Great. Ever see her through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling in rags. Those were your footprints there, you just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
That too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works.
Uh-huh.
You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
God damn, she was freaky.
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you.
I think it's time.
One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
It's cut and dry, surely, which makes me think, what's the catch? What's the twist? It's going too well.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
Ah.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
You made a copy of the key.
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
He points toward the whirling in rags.
And he found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union box window.
He had feelings for her.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
No.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly. like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
What a loser.
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others?
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
You don't have to justify feelings, just everything else you've done. Was that why you left the dried flowers behind a window?
No.
Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Yeah, you're pretty far gone.
It's as if something put the thought there to leave the flowers.
Something put the thought in you, a compulsion.
What do you mean, put?
He raises his eyes, they're round and wide.
A brief flash of terror.
A brief flash of terror. I just got this feeling from what you said. Do you agree?
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
Fair.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
You sure would have, and I wouldn't have stood a chance. He wipes his eye.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more.
Are we done?
One more down.
Good God, how much more do we need to determine we've got him? So in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, then the reeds. There's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement.
We've done it.
That's it. Motive. We have it.
We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
Got away, but she led us here first. She figured out someone was watching her from the sea fort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew.
Looks like love did him in after all.
She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
He adds, to no one in particular.
Across the water, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, made of grey cinder block houses with Eternite roofs, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. He's there, doing what exactly I don't know. Satellite Officer Vitmere points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him.
They think I'm here doing drugs or something, right?
Special Consultant Heidelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where? His voice trails off as the 3 walk down the jetty.
Good for them.
As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water.
It's an eyesore.
Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
I am good, baby.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
The lieutenant uses the opportunity to tell you in a lowered voice.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
You try. Oh.
For a 60-year-old man with stomach trouble who spent his entire life alone on an uninhabited island, he seems surprisingly fit.
That's it? Squint at him.
He's clearly a drug user of the painkiller sort, prone to erratic hand gestures and malnourished. But that's it. The moment passes and you say,
Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
Uh-huh.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez, Martinez is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries.
I've noticed a couple.
Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Do not interrupt, let him finish. I want to hear what he has to say.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins.
It's a rough time for them.
Intense, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
That all?
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too.
Well, not anymore.
Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Quayamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
Royal bloodlines as they are.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt, Frisell, is now dead.
Just nod.
We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores.
What follows is ominous mumbling. You cannot make out a single word.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter.
What do you got against disco, man?
Boom boom morons on thin ice. Going under. Those are the tent kids.
I know. Disco whores?
Whores.
That's all he says. Even that word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force. The rage seethes too hard. You mentioned the Union as Social Democratic and Mr. Clare a farce of Social Democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Uh-huh.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
Who's a disappointment, Everard Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
We haven't even been dealing with the smart one.
Edgar.
You mean Edgar?
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that.
You've talked to him?
First against the wall with him.
He stops poking at the ash now, just shakes his head.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Why didn't they tell us?
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to.
Maybe.
Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
You approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I've hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
Huh.
How did he know you were here?
There's a bit more to this.
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf.
I'm an oaf.
He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
He points to the path leading to the tower.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out.
That was trusting.
I was right about one of those things.
What's this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
Huh.
That's around the time the Clares came to power.
What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Mazov.
You're speaking dismissively, but it seems like it worked.
Never trust a social democrat who quotes Mazov. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you be here?
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
Would have been a lot more trouble than it was worth to oust this guy, I suppose.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
Did you kill the mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwight. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again?
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
It's not the first time he's fired a shot.
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
I don't know about that.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something.
Fuck!
Oh no, the connection doesn't come to you on such a pivotal moment.
Curse my brain.
Slap yourself in the head again. Jumpstart it.
It was about him meeting Edgar and a deal.
By God, we are on the edge, in the very end, and you can't even remember what you're trying to connect, can you?
Oh,
While
God.
the murder suspect stares at you with contempt.
Something with the union boss? Punch yourself in the head.
Officer.
The lieutenant watched you beat yourself in the head again the second time this interview.
He quickly realizes what is happening.
Mr. Dross, about this deal you made with Edgar.
Thank you,
The
Kim.
death of the colonel mercenary was only coincidentally beneficial to the Clares. But
He leans closer.
what about the other people you've killed for them?
Huh?
Other people?
Other people?
Like the previous forewoman of the Union.
Huh? He killed my forewoman. The foreman wife, he killed her.
That's it. That's what you weren't connecting yourself.
But I made the connection myself with my real brain. I'm a 29-year-old man, not a 50-million-year-old drunk.
I didn't fight 40 years to end up an informant for the international regime. What happened, happened.
Still dumb. Your eyes are transfixed on his digits. It's yellow with nicotine.
How does that help?
Before, when you asked him about the Union, he said it was a disappointment. They promised him something political.
They promised political change, and they didn't deliver.
Look who's up. You're worse off than me.
Yeah, honestly, I might be.
We will have plenty of time to talk about this, Mr. Dross, when you're in pre-detention. It takes years in pre-detention.
He won't last that long.
Go ahead. I've been in solitary confinement my whole life.
Ease off it. This was not an unmitigated disaster. The lieutenant mitigated it. Just proceed, calmly.
Goddamn, the boom boom morons on the ice.
They were boom boom imbeciles. At least they're not there anymore. What more is there to say? They're duped by bourgeois culture. I've seen their kind pop up, like worms after the rain.
What more is there to say? You've always got something to say.
I've always got something to say. I let them in the church. The boom boom is now in the church.
I don't think now is the time for this, officer.
The lieutenant tries to nip it.
To no avail.
To no avail.
I saw you. Serves that pigsty right to have them in there. Ghoulish sarcophagus. The Ecclesiastes are all pedophiles.
He seems happy enough with it. He seems pleased. Composure. More. More. By the cock parading in his colourful uniform, you mean Rene?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June.
Does have a rather upper class odour to it, doesn't it?
Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Patank maniac race traitor.
Go on, go on.
I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him, personally. His make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the Liberals came to their rescue. We missed one.
Huh.
That one.
With his shaky finger, he points to the city toward the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston. Alone.
There's no one there.
Fat and plump. Like a pheasant. Just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross. Shoot me.
You'd like to kill him?
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bonbon melt in my mouth.
You have bonbons?
Save the treat for later.
Lieutenant asks cheerfully.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think. No, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Rene. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel.
He lets out a wistful sigh.
Better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one. For him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Funny you should mention that.
Hearing it may destabilize him. Are you sure you've gotten everything from him?
Maybe we should wait. Bad arthritis, yes, he's not playing this week.
Yes, of course. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood. Must be torture. Not to be throwing his balls for a whole week.
He seems relieved. Could he have been worried for him?
Yeah, well, I'll come back and hit him with that one soon.
He reminds him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of another thing, but no. It's just the hatred.
Well, I'm glad we talked about this now.
Glad? It's all gone.
Oh, come on!
Aside from the rare, erratic hand gesture, smacking his lips and despondently staring into the fire, you can only see that he is old.
There's nothing else left to do.
His lip curls into a sneer.
Yes, where is he? I hope he doesn't have debilitating arthritis. Or kidney stones. He can still come out to play with balls and get shot in the head, right?
Oh, funny you should say that.
Oh my god. He's even worried for him.
Wow. Renee's dead. Died of old age a couple days ago.
No.
Yep.
I waited too long. I waited too long, and Now he's dead?
Yup.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
Kim, don't even bother. This is a fucked up situation.
They're all dead now. Fuck it.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
You had 1,000 chances to kill him.
And I blew them all. What does it matter now? He's gone. Ancient dust.
Just like you.
He reminded him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of something else, but no. It's just hatred.
You cared?
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. And now, God damn this world.
I'm sorry.
Fuck you.
Communard says, staring at the ground, seemingly to the island you're on. You alright to go on?
You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fucked.
Yeah.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days. Something strange is keeping him together, making him endure.
Well, I'm glad we talked about this.
Glad we talked about what?
Well, I mean, that's it for right now, old man. Stay put.
I ain't going anywhere.
Truly, there is nothing left to do, surely. Time to bring him in.
The old man stares despondently at the logs. It's like he's forgotten you're there.
I'm sure I've missed things, but there's nothing left for me to do. Yosef Lilianovich Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtinier.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The sum of all the erratic movements, fidgeting, and mood swings he's been exhibiting.
Your Wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand?
Do you? Does he?
Do you understand?
Does he?
But...
Him, he's afraid.
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He looks at the reeds, eyes submerged in growing terror.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
He's probably gonna have a heart attack or something.
Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Wait.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it...
What?
Something completely different. It sounds like a bow.
Oh.
Very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Oh?
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Shush, Kim, do you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this... really us?
Your skin crawls.
Ooh. Is that the Insulindian Phasmid? No fucking way. What?
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
What? Blink!
It's still there. An unfolding mechanism of reed-like chitin, hovering in place.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
The giant stick insect!
There's nothing there.
He looks confused.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head.
We found it!
You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster. But you don't have a gun.
There is! I see it!
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
Kim can see it! We found it!
4 simple words. Thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane.
I'm not crazy.
But
that means it's real.
It's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
It's real! The phasmid is real!
Be very, very careful.
I agree. The lieutenant whispers and takes a step towards the giant arthropod. I want to walk, please.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you.
Kim still has a thing left in his camera. He's only used one to take a picture of Lily.
Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks.
I bet our fucking suspect's gonna run off, but who cares?
The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else, in a lower pitch.
An electrochemistry, finally! Lena's childhood experience, your corpse will be marked by stars. Lay the pheromone on thick. There it is. I'm going to tame it.
With your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid.
It's real!
The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows.
What the fuck?
Like laughter, a sort of happiness.
I've done it!
Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Raise your hand slowly.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you.
There's nothing more important than this moment. Truly.
Suddenly, there is silence.
Raise the other hand, too.
As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you.
Oh my god.
Praying to you.
Don't pray to me, I'm nothing.
The reed creature does not stop its stridulations. It towers above you, parting the reeds it emerged from. Tuft-like structures still rustle on its joints.
Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Stand on your tiptoes, look more closely.
You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish.
Kim, it's foaming!
Careful. It may be poisonous.
Lieutenant watches you apprehensively.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one.
Spoke to the hangman, did not give up on the phasmid, knows of parthenogenesis. What are you doing?
I exist.
You exist! We're communicating! I exist too!
Tell me what it's like for you.
I'm ill.
What is your illness?
In my heart, for me it's sadness, input after input.
For me, it is not like that. I have states. not the emotions. For example, I experience excitement at unexpected sugar rewards. But that is not important.
Ah.
Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist.
Half-light. Intruded by what?
Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding.
Ah.
I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never ache.
I'm glad to be me, an incredibly sensitive instrument.
Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you, with all of creation reflected in your forebrain.
My
You must be
forebrain.
like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and writhing glass. Eternal damnation.
Foreman forethinks with his forebrain.
Even when you're sleeping, and when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you.
It was very disorienting at first, but I'm keeping my shit together.
That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on, rooting for you.
I am king of the insects.
And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. Bud from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater.
You're the best kind of giant insect.
In honor of your shit, Lieutenant Yfreter, which you kept together in the face of total unrelenting terror, day after day, second by second.
Even after a mercenary shot me in the leg.
Detective.
Detective. Arriving. I am a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
A killer.
He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. I only quicken his deterioration.
You're destroying him?
Very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him.
The brain shit. The stuff it uses to remain undetected. It's had to use it on him for decades, and it's put holes in his brain. Is this a dream? What is happening?
No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Where does this all come from? All this around us, the world?
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily.
And all we can do is beat our fists against it, day after day, with no answer?
You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or a reed.
Or a reed.
Wait, so...
You look like a reed and you eat reeds?
Yes, they don't mind.
Have you ever accidentally eaten another reed phasmid?
Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident.
Oh, that's really sad. What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia, endemic to the Insulandian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys.
Aww.
I went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the Suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and officials of the occupation. Even the Seminese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me.
I see.
I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Revershaw, district of Martinez, March 51.
That's insane.
No, you are.
Yeah, I am.
The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile simian nerve system ominously new to the planet.
Yeah.
The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
The Pale is human-made?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
I don't have that kind of power.
You are a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
How?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Downer.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Oh. Worse how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink.
Yeah.
What if he misplaces us all one day, or just forget?
I've already forgotten the whole world once when I drank too much.
So it is already happening. Soon, one of you will close your eyes and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
Well, what does it look like?
You're just staring at it.
I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Sort of?
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
Probably wise. I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. That was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures I've met, you are the kindest.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Do it for the working class.
It's worth pointing out, as I'm sure many of you are aware, but I'd like to reiterate it. It's not actually saying these things. I'm having a brain conversation with it. My brain is making up what it's saying. I will turn away from the woman for the working class, yeah.
She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
Okay, Kim, take the picture.
Okay.
You can do it, buddy. There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
Do it.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you.
This image is just a fucking prequel to EDF.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant whisper as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand. A polychrome ghost of white streaks against the reeds in the sky and you as a shadow before it. Slowly reach out and touch its whisker.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the kiting curls into a spiral, like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold, ticklish. The sensation is electrifying.
Yeah.
Resounding through your body.
Yeah.
It is surprisingly delicate. The curly end of the whisker, like a young vine. It's even a bit wet.
It was hiding in the marshes.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
Look at your finger.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays frozen.
I'm not going to lick my finger. That's a terrible idea. Carefully pet its forearm.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing.
Hope it doesn't.
Warning.
Warning. Pull your hand away, I don't want to hurt it.
A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like the creature is awakening, wave by wave from its stupor. Some sort of countdown process is happening. That's all you have time to think.
Well, let's back off.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
I've noticed that our perp is still there. We haven't lost him. That's good. Disengage.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
God damn. Goodbye, phasmid. You're gonna make me famous. You're gonna make me famous. I'm famous.
And just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water.
Well, that was a thing.
And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
Why?
It's gone.
Lieutenant looks north with his hand raised to his brow. Can walk on water?
Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
He shakes his head with amazement. What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
What now?
What now?
The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand into the ash. It's dirty and black. Oh yeah, this horrible murderer.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
He's out of time.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Wait, I need to inspect this. It's important. Fairweather T500 helmet. That guy. And a T932 rifle scope. Interesting. Okay. Evidence, Classier's passport. I am now very protected. If anyone shoots me, I will be okay.
This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Oranje, is issued to a black-haired woman called Katarzyna Alazie.
Uh-huh.
Classier's hidden documents. From the MT boy.
What's this doing in the phasmid's nest?
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classier's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or...
Phasmid took it.
Like a magpie? What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other objects, which would be highly unusual.
It did.
I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it. But to seek this out would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod.
There's nothing usual about it.
Would it? Maybe it was simply curious.
Perhaps it was curious, like an octopus?
An octopus belongs to a very different class. It's not even an insect, it's a mollusk. But yes, I see your point.
It says Katarzyna Alazie.
She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk Meyer-Smith.
And that's not what it says.
Katarzyna Alazie was supposed to be her real name, where Klasia comes from. Remember? God damn it.
Who knows?
I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now, in another city.
Well, she lied to us.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us. One more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now.
Lieutenant smiles. So what's her real name then?
I don't know. But it's not Katarzyna Alasia, or Klasia, or Anouk Meyer-Smith. We didn't even scratch the surface with her, Detective.
And we never will.
Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now.
Oh yeah, it would have been a shit show. Look at the photo.
It's Klasia, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow. An old photo, before life came and did what it does.
Uh-huh. Alright, Mr. Suspect. Time to take you away.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Oh, you can and you will.
Something is very wrong with him now.
I'm sure. How could you not see the phasmid? He stares at the reeds and falls silent.
Mr. Duras?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking.
And to think, I almost didn't bother with that, cryptozoology stuff, and where would we be now?
With fear and longing.
Ah.
Like an addict of some terrible substance.
Snap your fingers under his nose.
A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. His hands are trembling, and he breathes slowly.
It's not going well.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Duras?
He inspects him gently.
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
I'll do it.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What's happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
I think it's the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
Yes.
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke?
Didn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Duras.
He touches the man's shoulder.
No response.
Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it...
Yeah, you forget it's there.
Mr. Duras, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds?
The old man stutters.
The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Could it be there's something hormonal in his relationship to the phasmid?
You mean pheromonal?
He seems a little off for a man his age. Randy.
The scope, knowing of her bruises, his disposition toward Miss Orania. I see what you mean.
I talked to the phasmid. It said it's destroying him.
You should be more careful, Detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you?
Maybe. Anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect.
A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching a known species in the future, Detective.
Oh, well, we'll find so many, Kim. I guess I should take that advice on board. He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it is in its company?
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe.
He looks at his notebook.
I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
Yep, we have evidence.
No one would believe you without it.
Straight up. So we found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should...
Tap on the helmet on your head.
Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left, wherever he is.
Probably for the best.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible.
For sure. Show him the passport.
No reaction. His breathing is slow, and he appears very old all of a sudden. Around 80.
Did you take this passport and other papers from a boy on the coast?
The spirit.
The spirit.
He hears us. The spirit?
No reply. He's gone again.
Try something else? We got him back for a moment.
What about the scope?
I lost.
You lost it, Mr. Dross?
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid.
The lieutenant observes the lens sparkle in your hand.
This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh.
He's gone.
You've gotten all you will out of this poor being.
He's not a poor being, he's a murderer. Anyway, I'm gonna let you rest now.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
Hang tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Well, I'll be. Well, I will be. I was hoping I could put the scope on the rifle. It plays music, I didn't realize. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how much of the game is actually left by this point, but I've been going for over 3.5 hours. Which means we're going to have to wrap this up, and even if next time is only half hour long, or whatever, that will be the conclusion. But the game is very wordy, so I imagine it'll probably be a bit more than half an hour, so I am going to have to leave this here. It's like gone 7 PM and I haven't eaten dinner. So, yeah, wrapping it up. Interesting, I was initially quite disappointed that it was just a fucking nut bar ex-soldier, deserter, communist man who did the murder, until everything else went in around it, and then it became a lot more interesting. Especially the fact that he may or may not have murdered the political opponent of the Clares way back when. We didn't really get that out of him, but seems like that could have been a thing. But whatever the case, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Tom King, Mishoko Myman, Adash Sanjeev, Alkir, Honeydew Corporation, Sweet Baby Red, MB Alias, Lord Scullington, Jessica C, Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Owl, The Frostbite, Monsoon, Sir World, Warmaster Oku, SCP-106A, Namad, and Kenny T800 for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. This was nuts. What an absurd fucking ending to the case. Oh, by the way, here's the phasmid. Go figure. Not what I was expecting, but very cool. Very cool sequence, and the whole thing was very interesting. This game's fucking crazy. I don't know how much is going to be left. I don't know what. I don't know if there's post-game where I can wander around and do what I want, or if the game truly ends at a certain point, or what. But we'll probably find out next time. I don't know. Maybe there's a follow-up mystery case to this case. I have no fucking clue. But whatever happens, hope I see you there. Doodles. Goodbye.